chapter 13. And David consulted with the captains of thousands and of hundreds, even with every leader. And David said unto all the assembly of Israel, If it seem good unto you, and if it be of the Lord our God, let us send abroad everywhere unto our brethren that are left in all the land of Israel, and with them to the priests and Levites that are in their cities, that have open land about them, that they may gather themselves unto us. And let us bring back the ark of our God to us, for we sought not unto it in the days of Saul. And all the assembly said that they would do so, for the thing was right in the eyes of all the people. So David assembled all Israel together from Shechor to the brook of Egypt, even unto the entrance of Hamath, to bring the ark of God from Kiriath Yarim. And David went up, and all Israel to Baalah, that is, Kiriath Yarim, which belonged to Judah, to bring up from there the ark of God, the Lord, that sits upon the cherubim, wherein is called the name. And they set the ark of God upon a new cart, and brought it out of the house of Abinadab. And Uzzah and Achio drove the cart. And David and all Israel played before God with all their might, even with songs, and with harps, and with psalteries, and with timbrels, and with cymbals, and with trumpets. And when they came to the threshing floor of Kidon, Uzzah put forth his hand to hold the ark, for the oxen stumbled. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and he smote him, because he put forth his hand to the ark, and there he died before God. And David was displeased, because the Lord had broke forth upon Uzzah. And the place was called Peretz Uzzah unto this day. And David was afraid of God that day, saying, How shall I bring the ark of God home to me? So David removed not the ark unto him into the city of David, but carried it aside into the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. And the ark of God remained with the family of Obed-Edom in his house 3 months, and the Lord blessed the house of Obed-Edom and all that he had. All right, go back up to verse 1. And this here's a story. This here is some people would call it story. It's that which pertains to Uzzah when the oxen stumbled and the Lord struck Uzzah. Verse 1, And David consulted with the captains of thousands and hundreds, even every leader. And David once again is the beloved, this one, the chosen one, literally, consulted with these captains. And these captains here are the rulers, or these leaders of all the tribes and all the towns and stuff around the area, of these thousands and hundreds, even every leader, and that's all the leaders of the land. Over these thousands and over the hundreds. And these thousands is going to be the fulfillment, and these hundreds even of the judgments. And we're going to find out that's what this story is really about, even the fulfillment of the judgments of God. 2. And David said unto all the assembly of Israel, If it seems good unto you, and if it be of the Lord our God, let us send abroad everywhere unto our brethren that are left in all the land of Israel, and with them to the priests and the Levites that are in their cities, that have open land about them, that they may gather themselves to us. And this assembly that David had gathered together there in Hebron, in the place of the association, is where he would be. And we're going to find out this assembly that he gathers together. He says, Let us send unto all the land of Israel, that's those that contend with the mighty one, to all the priests and the Levites, and to their cities, all the cities of even the priests and the Levites, those that join, that have open land about them, that are in the cities and have the fields to plant all around. 3. And let us bring back the ark of God to us. We sought not unto it in the days of Saul. So while Saul was king, and we'll remember when this great battle, when the sons of Shemuel took the ark out and the Philistines whopped them, and the Philistines took the ark. Of course, it didn't do them no good. God brought great sores and boils upon them and emerods, and sent mice to plague them, and they sent back the ark on a brand new cart, and we'll find out it made it to Abinadab's house, and that's where it's been ever since. 4. And all the assembly said that they would do so, for the thing was right. The thing was right in the eyes of the people, and all the people agreed. Yes, let us bring back the ark of the covenant, because they didn't look for it during the time of Saul. And Saul is that desired one, that one they asked for. 5. So David assembled all Israel together from Shechor to the brook of Egypt, even unto the entrance of Hamath, to bring back the ark of God from Kiriath Yarim. And so David, the chosen one, gathers all the assembly, all the ones who is of Israel, those who contend with the mighty one, together. He gathers them up from Shechor, and that is, Shechor means darkness. It means darkness. It's like this darkness right before dawn, even, from the Shechor to the brook of Egypt. And that brook of Egypt, in the King James Version just said Egypt, but the brook of Egypt, or even from these waters of Egypt, these pools, Egypt is that land of enclosures. It's that land of pits, even unto the entrance of Hamath. And Hamath is the fortress of walls. And this fortress of walls, or these walls that we've been talking about, that divide, to bring the ark of God from Kiriath Yarim. And Kiriath Yarim is that city of the forests. This word forest is this city of the forest, or the city of thickets, and these thickets would be the thickets of terror. 6. And David went up, and all Israel, to Baalah, that is, to Kiriath Yarim, which belonged to Judah, to bring up from there the ark of God, the Lord, that sitteth upon the cherubim, wherein is called the name. So David takes Israel, and they go up to Baalah, that is Kiriath Yarim, that is that city of the thickets of terror. And Baal was a Lord image they created. Baal means Lord, and it's a Lord image they had made. It was not a god they used to worship. And this was the city of Baalah, which is, Baalah means it's the feminine form of Baal, that Lord image they made. And this feminine form, because it represents the feminine of Baal, or all the beauty and kindness and love and all these pleasant things that we would imagine. And this city belonged to Judah, those are praisings, and they went to get the ark of God to bring it up from there. 7. And they set the ark of God upon a new cart, and they brought it out of the house of Abinadab, and Uzzah and Ahio drove the cart. And so they got the cart. They got him a brand new cart. That's what the Philistines did. They built a brand new cart and set a set of oxen on it that had never drawn. And so they bring their cart, and they got their oxen. They come up to get the ark of God at the house of Abinadab. And Abinadab means my father makes willing. My father makes this willingness. And Uzzah means these feminine strengths. It's a feminine word for strengths. Utz, just like Uzziah, which would be the strengths of God, which this is Uzzah, that is a feminine word for strength, which means the strengths of beauty and pleasure and all this great kindness that we know. And Achio is the brotherly. And the brotherly, or this assembly, these that have joined together, it would be like a fraternity. 8. And David and all Israel played before God with all their might, even with songs, and with harps, and with psalteries, and with timbrels, and with cymbals, and with trumpets. So there's a great procession before the ark going through, playing, all dancing around, singing, having a great time. We've heard about this singing and dancing, this twirling around, these twisting, this running around. 9. And when they came to the threshing floor of Kedon, Uzzah put forth his hand to hold the ark, for the oxen stumbled. And when they came to this threshing floor, the threshing floor always represents that place where they're separated. See, that's the place where that's the line that's drawn there. It actually represents the law of God. And beyond there is a place of separation, and this side of it would, of course, just be the rest of the world. The Kedon means that place that's striking forth. And Kedon is also like this little short sword, but what it represents is this quick striking, the quick power to strike. And when they had reached that place that divides there, at that place of striking forth quickly, Utsah, all these feminine strengths, puts forth his hand, or his works, to hold the ark. Because the oxen stumbled. We'll see the oxen stumbled, these that were pulling. And we'll find out, see, nobody's allowed to touch the ark but the Levites. 10. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Utsah, and he smote him, because he put forth his hand to the ark, and there he died before God. And the anger of God was kindled, this anger of the Lord was kindled against Utsah, these feminine strengths, and he smote him because he put forth his work to the ark. He's not allowed to touch the ark, and Utsah represents all these feminine, all these beauty, wonderful things that are put forth towards the law of God. See, God, the law of God belongs to God, and him that he give rule over it. He did not give it to Utsah. And this also, this represents, we know they had a great possession. It was a great, wonderful, happy time going before the ark there. But we'll find out, see, God may not have been as impressed as everybody else was. 11. David was displeased because the Lord had broken forth upon Utsah. And that place was called Peretz Utsah unto this day. And David, the chosen one, it displeased him because the Lord had broke forth upon Utsah. But the Lord makes the law, and the Lord enforces the law. The law belongs to God. See, it doesn't belong to men. And he put forth, because he put forth his hands against these feminine strengths, and that's why they called that place Peretz Utsah unto this day. And we remember this word Peretz. Peretz was the great-great-grandfather of David himself. He was born from Judah. He was the twin brother to Zuriah. And see, Peretz means this breaking forth. He broke forth, and that's what Peretz means, this breaking forth on Utsah, or these breaking forth of these feminine strengths. And that's why they called it that place, even that place, that place of that separation. 12, where the law divides, saying this would be the fulfillment, and this would be the judgments God struck forth upon these feminine strengths. 12. And David was afraid of God that day, saying, how shall I bring the ark of God home to me? And David was afraid of God that day, even in that understanding, knowing that, wondering how he's going to bring this ark back even to that city of David. 13. So David removed not the ark unto him into the city of David, but carried it aside into the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. So David didn't bring the ark on back into the city of David because the Lord had done this. He was scared to death, and he carried it over to the side. He carries it off to the closest house, probably the closest house that was to him at that time, this house, Obed-Edom. And this Obed, or probably Obed from Edom in original sense, Obed, this servant. See, this servant, Obed is servant. Edom is red, means red, or to show the red in the flesh, or to show the blood in the flesh, or even blood being that sin that should be poured out. That the blood it represents here is to show this sin even in the flesh. The Gittite, these Gittite, and those of the winepress, because that's what it is. It's those of the winepress, those that show the blood in the flesh, those that are being pressed down. 14. And the ark of God remained with the family of Obed-Edom in the house 3 months. And the Lord blessed the house of Obed-Edom and all that he had. And the ark of God, that represents that which contains the law. It has the law inside of it as a witness against. See, it remained in the house of Obed-Edom. And Obed-Edom, once again, that servant, see, of Edom, that servant of them that show the blood in the flesh, even in that house, even in his house, for 3 months. And 3, to complete now, months, this periods of lesser light, even the period of the moon. And the Lord blessed the house of Obed-Edom, and the Lord did bless the house, or that servant, even of those that show the blood in the flesh. And we're going to move forward. We're going to move forward to chapter 14. Return.